Let's do this. Run that intro.
Oh yeah. Feels good. Feels good.
What up, y'all? It's your girlfriend's favorite YouTuber, GQ Jamal. Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of GQTV. And I am your boy, the one and only, your host, yours truly, GQ Jamal. And this is where we review, pay homage, and just talk about shows and movies from both past and present. And as always, like in every video I do, I just want to say thank you. Thank you again for tuning in by watching my videos. Thank you again for tuning in by watching this video. I really appreciate it a lot. Yo, go subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. That is GQ Jamal. Yo, go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell. Go check out my videos. Go like them. Go share them. Leave some comments. Show some love. I really appreciate it if you do. Today, we're going to do 2 videos in one again. We're going to review, talk about 2 shows in one video. And you know what I'm about to do. I'm about to run those intros.
Hey, yo, what's up? What's my theme music?
Sometimes bad and it's sometimes acceptable. Hanging with mama is such a high. Good to have a friend in both our lives. Yo, Coop, you're on.
Yeah, that's right. Today we're going to talk about these 2 shows right here. That is Hangin with Mr. Cooper and the Steve Harvey Show. Yeah, Hangin with Mr. Cooper and the Steve Harvey Show. 2 underrated shows that really don't get talked about as much. 2 really good shows in the 90s. Mark Curry, really funny comedian. He had a solid career in the 90s, and everyone knows who Steve Harvey is. If you haven't, I believe you've been living under a rock. You know, everyone should know who Steve Harvey is. You've probably seen Family Feud before. Yeah, but this was Steve Harvey back in his prime. Afro Steve. Yeah, this was Afro Steve in his prime. But yeah, 2 really good shows. I like the Steve Harvey Show more than Hangin with Mr. Cooper, but I will get into that during this video. But today we're gonna talk about both shows today. Alright, so in Hangin with Mr. Cooper, Mark Curry, he plays Mark Cooper, ex-basketball player that tried out for the Golden State Warriors. He got cut after like a couple of games. So now he's in high school. He's a high school teacher / principal, I believe, in the show. He's a mentor to the kids. So that's his character. He also lives in this like studio apartment, I believe, with Don Lewis and Holly Robinson. I'm going to get to those characters in a second. But yeah, he lives with his 2 good friends in his studio apartment. So that's pretty much what Hangin with Mr. Cooper's about. So Don Lewis, she was in the show for the first season. She played Mark's good friend, Robin. Yeah, she's real good friends with Mark. Don Lewis, she was in a different world before being in Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Also, the also beautiful Holly Robinson, she was in the show. She played Vanessa. That was Mark's friend. But later in the series, they liked each other, so they got together and they got married during the 4th season, 5th season, I believe. But yeah, that's the characters of the show. And also, I think Marcus Wilson, I forgot his name, but he was in the show. He played Tyler, an annoying kid that always comes through Mark's house, come in Mark's house. You know, back in the 90s, they always had that one annoying kid. Jaleel White, Steve Urkel, they started this trend in the 90s. This whole annoying kid just pops up in the house unannounced. Yeah, Steve Urkel started that trend. But yeah, so that's what Hanging with Mr. Cooper is about. Now, on the Steve Harvey show, Steve Harvey, he plays Steve Hightower in the show. He was a funk legend. Now he's a high school teacher and a principal, similar to Hanging with Mr. Cooper. These shows are similar. Yeah, these shows are similar. So Steve was fly in the show. He used to have these like little fly ass suits that he be wearing in the show. Even in real life, Steve is real fly. I won't take that away from him. But this was back when Steve was Afro Steve. But yeah, Steve was a mentor, just like Mark was in Hanging with Mr. Cooper. So Cedric the Entertainer, he's in the show. He plays Steve's good friend, Ced. Yes, Cedric the Entertainer, he's real funny in the show. Yeah, Merlin Santana, he was in the show. Rest in peace to him. But yeah, he was in the show. He played one of the students. He played Romeo. He was a class clown, you know, the too cool for school type of person. He was real fly. The girls loved him. He was a ladies' man. Yeah, he played Romeo on the show. And Romeo, he had a best friend named Bullethead. He was real slow in that show. He was real dumb in that show. But yeah, that was the main like student character. Yeah, Wendy Robinson, she was on the show too. She was a principal. She was a principal of the show. She played Regina. Steve called her Piggy because she used to be overweight when they were like kids. Now she's like fine as hell in the show. And Steve would like hit on her like every episode. Then eventually they like got together. And Terry Vaughn, she was in the show too. She played Cedric's girlfriend, Levita Alizé Jenkins. Oh, she played that. Yeah, she played Cedric's girlfriend on the show. Yeah, this show had a great cast. And also Lori Beth Denberg, she was on All That. She was in the show. Yeah, Steve Harvey show had a great cast. It had a solid cast, great chemistry. Yeah, so Hanging with Mr. Cooper aired for 5 seasons. It premiered back in 1992. It ran for 5 seasons on ABC. And the Steve Harvey show was on the WB. It premiered back in 1996 for 6 seasons, 6 years. But what I think about these 2 shows, like I said in the beginning, these 2 shows were underrated. They really don't get talked about as much. But what I like about Hanging with Mr. Cooper, I really love the first season of Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I think the episodes were like funny. They're like more like adult theme, made for adults. But then when season 2 hit, when Raymond Simone came to the scene, came to the show, The show like switched like to like a more family style show. But I really love season 1 of Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I thought season 1 was like golden. It really like made me laugh more than other seasons of that show. But it was a solid show. And for like the Steve Harvey show, I always liked the Steve Harvey show the most. Then Hanging with Mr. Cooper. I remember TBS playing the Steve Harvey show every morning. I would watch it like at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. And still to this day, it kept me entertained. Hanging with Mr. Cooper, like I said, I love season 1. It's on Hulu now. From what I remember about that show, watching that show, I remember the Ion channel. For those who didn't have like cable, the Ion channel was like one of those basic channels. I remember watching Hanging with Mr. Cooper on that channel. Then I did remember Nickelodeon playing Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and Ion channel played Steve Harvey show too. So it was great. It was great for that channel to play it both. And I remember they played the Wayans brothers on that show. I remember they played the Wayans brothers on that channel. I remember that, but back in like when I was in high school. I really loved the chemistry on the Steve Harvey show. They looked like they had like a lot of fun shooting that show, filming that show. I love the chemistry between Steve and Cedric. Whenever those two are in a movie or doing something together, they always have like good chemistry. It sucks that the guy that played Romeo, as soon as that show as soon as the show got canceled or got off the air, he died like months after the show stopped airing. And like he was a solid actor. I ain't gonna lie, he was a solid actor. And rest in peace, Merlin Santana. And like I said, they had a solid cast on the Steve Harvey show. And for Hanging with Mr. Cooper, it wasn't a bad show. It was solid. It was decent. I love season 1. They had a solid cast. But when I think about that show, I just go to season 1. That's all I watch when I'm watching that show. But Mark Curry is a talented comedian. He's a funny comedian. Say what you want about Steve Harvey. He's an okay comedian. He's solid. I know people make jokes about Steve Harvey. But as far as the show goes, I think Steve Harvey's the Steve Harvey show is a slept-on show. Cedric the Entertainer, pretty funny in the show. I like him as a comedian too. He has some solid movies too. And he was funny in Barbershop. He was funny in Barbershop, but the whole cast of that show is solid. And if I had to give both shows, Hanging with Mr. Cooper and Steve Harvey show rating, I would give Hanging with Mr. Cooper a solid 6.5, 7, because it had a strong season 1. I feel like the show was kind of like inconsistent at times. I'd give it a 7, 6.5, 7. And the Steve Harvey show, I'll give it a 7.5, 8. It kept me entertained when I was a kid, even growing up. I'll still go back and watch this show. So I would give Steve Harvey show a 7.5, 8. But that's all I want to say about both of the shows today. Yeah, if you remember watching Hanging with Mr. Cooper and the Steve Harvey show, let me know what you think about both of the shows down in the comment section down below. Let me know who is your favorite character on the show. Let me know what was your favorite episode, favorite scene. What do you remember about watching both of the shows? Let me know down below in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Yo, if you made it far through this video, I just want to say thank you. Thank you again for tuning in by watching this video. I really appreciate it a lot. Yo, go subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. That is GQ Jamal. Yo, go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell. Go check out my videos. Go like them. Go share them. Leave some comments. I really appreciate it if you do. Yo, stay tuned. I'm going to be dropping more videos here in the future. Yo, if you have any movies or shows you want me to review, talk about, just let me know. Just hit me up and I'll do my best and just make a video about it. Until next time, this is GQTV and I am the one and only GQ Jamal. Until next time, everyone, peace.
Sweat. Go crazy on them. I see why they're hitting on you. Go crazy on them. I wanna put that.